Here's your lecture for 2.1.4, what makes it 0. So I'm going to let you read this part to yourself, and then I'm going to actually show you how to do some things with the expression mat. Okay, so I just had to make my own expression mat because I didn't happen to have one, but I do have some tiles. So what I've done is the book had two dark colored X's and then a light X and a dark 1. Okay, so this little key right here says if it's dark, if it's filled in, then it's positive, and if it's not filled in, it's negative. So I'm going to say that if it's red, it's negative with my tiles. So that's why I made that one red and the others blue. Okay? Alright, so I hope that you know how the expression mat works already from in class, but if you don't, then I'm going to tell you that the top half is positive. It's hard to see that. And the bottom half is negative. So how would I write an expression for this? Well, remember we said the red ones were negative and the blue ones were positive. So I would write, these are X bars. There's another video that I made that tells you how I know these are X bars and how these are 1s. So I have two X bars in the positive region, and then plus a negative X bar. So I can either write plus negative X, or I could just write it as 2X minus X if I wanted to. I'm just going to leave it like that. Plus 1. So this 2X came from these two blue ones. This negative X came from the red one. And this 1 came from this little blue square here. Now, down here, even though they're positive, they're in the minus region, or they're in the minus part of the paper. So I'm going to go minus positive 3, or in other words, minus 3. Okay, that's one expression. So I'm actually doing, if you have your book with you, I'm doing 2-36, and it said build this collection of tiles. So I built it, and then it says write its value. So I wrote that, and then if I want to, I can combine things that are alike, like 2X and a negative X would be, well, I don't know if you know about zero pairs yet, but these two, they zero each other out. So that would give me X. And then I have the positive 1 and the minus 3. So I could bring these guys, I hope that you've learned this in class so far. If I want these to come up to the positive side of the mat, I have to flip them upside down. Okay, and then this makes a zero pair right here. When you have the opposite color, they can pair off and go away. They make a zero pair. And so I'm left with X and negative 2. So that's why I wrote X, and then these two guys I just ended up with two red squares. So that would be, I can say plus negative 2, or I can say X minus 2. That can be my final answer. That's after you combine like terms. Okay, so that was, letter A was 2. Letter A said to build this collection. Letter B says represent this value 3 different ways. Okay, so I'm going to try to represent it 3 different ways. Okay, so here we go. I could represent it a different way. So if I want 2x minus x plus 1 minus 3, remember I had it like this? I did have it like this, but who's to say that I'm not allowed to, maybe I can flip these two down here. It's okay, it's not disobeying the rules. I can just move these down here and do it like that. So if I want to write this a different way, I could say, here's another way to write it. I could say negative x plus 1 minus, those are negative 2x minus 3. There's another way to write it. How else could I represent it? 3 different ways. Okay, well there's one different way. Okay, another different way. What else could I do to change it? How about if I flip these guys up here? That's different than last time. I could rewrite it as negative x plus 1 minus 3 minus, that's from this minus, negative 2x. So there's another way to write it. What haven't I done yet? How about if I put them all the way all up here? That would be fun. I'll put these back up here. I'm allowed to flip them upside down and bring them up here. Now there's nothing in this negative part of my expression map, just the positive part. So how would I write that? 2x minus x, or plus negative x. I'm going to write minus x just for fun. Minus 3 plus 1. These are 3 different ways to write the original little assortment that was in this picture in your book on 2-36. Okay, so those are different representations. And so I'm going to let you go ahead and do your review and previews on your own, and be sure to also read. You're going to want to read these problems in here, just even though you're not with your team right now because you're doing this at home. Go ahead and read these. And that's it.